Magic Mike again as usual. Very well indeed, Magic Mike. A lot of people ask me about magic. I want to get some tips and that kind of stuff about magic. I started magic when I was about 10 years old, 1981, it's a long time ago, isn't it? But I learned a lot about it. If you want to learn about magic, I'll give you some advice. I've performed in the 80s and 90s an awful lot abroad, Greece, Spain, Turkey, cruise ships, that kind of stuff, and that kind of thing. And I've been in travel business about 20 odd years. But there's a lot of things to learn about magic. Now, with magic, it's good to watch a lot of stuff. And nowadays, when I was a kid, you used to have just books, that kind of stuff, you know, books, and that was it. Maybe videos, that was it. I started, there wasn't videos when I started. I used to have a VHS player. But nowadays in 2020, you can actually learn off YouTube, that kind of stuff as well. But do some research into magic, and if you want to learn stuff, you can learn from books and also DVDs, but also learn from videos on YouTube, that kind of stuff. Now, I would give some advice and tips about what to watch with magic, because there's a lot of shows, classic shows to watch. Okay. Now, in the 80s, there was many good magicians. There were many great magicians around in the 80s and 70s, actually, particularly that period, particularly, I'd say. Since the 90s, it's been a bit different, I'd say. In the 80s, there was David Copperfield, of course, the great American magician, probably the best magician ever lived. Okay, was Paul Daniels in the UK, brilliant magician, of course, best magician ever the UK ever produced. There's also people like Doug Henning, the American magician, who's brilliant shows. Who else? Ali Bongo was pretty good. Remember Ali Bongo? There was David Berglass, very good back in the 80s. Had some TV shows in the 80s. Who else was good as well? There was many magicians. There was, in fact, at one point, I think there were about 7 or 8 magic shows on in about 1 year. Late 80s, there was Dave Copperfield was on, Paul Daniels was on, Wayne Dobson was on, Best of Magic was on, Secret Cabaret was on. That was like a gothic, horror kind of magic show. There was loads of shows, seriously, loads of shows on. About 4 or 5 series a year of magic. Nowadays, you're lucky to see one, aren't you? You never see it. Very rare to see magic on television nowadays. So if you want to see some shows, I'll kick off with some ideas. Obviously, since the 1990s, we've had David Blaine. Copperfield kind of finished about 95, didn't he? Paul Daniels finished about 95. Wayne Dobson was around the early 90s. He was a very good magician. Secret Cabaret finished. And then we had David Blaine, and then we've had Chris Angel. Then in the UK got Dynamo, you know, and that kind of person. And since then, it's been a little bit less magic, and magic's gone from being what I would say kind of showbizy to becoming quite streetwise. We had showbizy magic back in the 80s and 70s with Doug Henning kind of stuff, and Siegfried and Roy. Remember that Siegfried and Roy show? That was an amazing show, the Siegfried and Roy. And I think it was the most expensive show ever made, wasn't it? It cost about $60 million, I think, that show, didn't it? But we had that in the 70s and 80s, and of course now, you know, street magic's a thing, isn't it? And obviously David Blaine and Dynamo, and other people have taken on street magic an awful lot, and people have inherited the mantle of it. But I like traditional magic, you know, and I love that kind of stuff, you know. There's a very good magician, of course, who was not a big star, but a very good magician, Michael Vincent. I knew him about 30 years ago. So hi, Mike, if you're watching the video. We used to hang about an Alan Allen's magic shop up in at Holborn years ago. Alan Allen was another great magician, escapologist. Died, of course, now. Died about 6 years ago. But of course, he was a great help and mentor to me as well, at Alan Allen. He's a brilliant bloke. But anyways, as I say, you know, magic's gone from, as I say, it's worth looking at videos, as I say, of all these kind of people to get ideas and stuff. Now, some of the best magic shows to watch, going back in time, if you can get them. I say Paul Daniels' 1985 Montreux Rose show. He won the Golden Rose of Montreux with it. I think it's called Paul Daniels' Magic Easter Show, 1985. It's a fantastic piece of magic theatre direction. John Fisher produced it. It was an amazing show. I think BBC actually won Golden Rose of Montreux for that you know, a very prestigious prize in television for that show. And it's a brilliant piece of magic show. Paul Daniels did a cup and ball in it, Lincoln Rings, and fantastic stuff in it as well. That was a brilliant magic show. If you can get that on YouTube, get that on YouTube. Okay, if you can find it, I think it's still on YouTube. It was on YouTube anyway. Try and go through some of the old Paul Daniels shows from the 1980s. Some of them are really good, and some brilliant magic on them. He did stuff like Vanishing Elephant and Escape at Silverstone, Fishing for Loch Ness Monster, stuff at Tintagel Castle, all kinds of stuff. Some of it's not, because some of it's really brilliant, but it's worth sifting through his shows. You can get hold of them to see on YouTube, and get hold of them still on YouTube, of stuff. Also, I would recommend going on to stuff, some of Wayne Dobson's stuff's really good from the early 1990s. He has his kind of magic, some brilliant close-up magic on there, well worth checking out some of his shows. He was brilliant, Wayne Dobson, for a time, and then he kind of faded away. It's a shame, because he was actually a brilliant magician. I know he's not very well nowadays, but he was a brilliant magician back in the day, Wayne Dobson. Also, if you really want to learn, it's good to go back to check out David Copperfield, the great American magician. He made about 16 magic shows between about 79 and 1995. He made one about 20 years ago, 2002, which is also really good. I mean, Copperfield was at the cutting edge of magic. He was then, and he's still the best magician ever. No one's ever beaten him, really. I don't think they have. We see brilliant magicians, good close-up magicians like David Blaine, brilliant magicians. But I think Copperfield was, and always will be, the best magician of the era. He just knew it, he just was, wasn't he? He was like the Mozart of magic, really. And he really was. But with Copperfield, if you want to check out his shows, I would really heavily recommend checking out Copperfield 11. You can get all of that on YouTube. Copperfield 11, The Explosion of a Counter. Also Copperfield 10, Bermuda Triangle's got some amazing stuff, including being sawn in half with the buzzsaw. Maybe the best illusion ever. I was like 19 when I saw that. It blew my mind. I was 19, it blew my mind. Also, check out Copperfield, I think number 9, is it? The Alcatraz show is really good of his. The Great Wall of China show. So the magic's amazing. It's not just the big stuff like the Vanishing Statue of Liberty and Vanishing Airplane. Some of the small magics is fantastic, and the illusions, fantastic. It's just, no, his shows are just a complete compendium of brilliant magic right through, and it's still 30 years later, it's still brilliant. And some of the illusions are so good. Origami Box, really good. If you'd see that, the spiker illusion he did was absolutely magnificent. The buzzsaw was magnificent, and close-up was good. He did Flying Aces. I saw him do it live at Earl's Court. Flying Aces trick. Other stuff he did brilliantly as well. Illusion-wise, it was just brilliant. The shame was his dancer, Joan Spina was his dancer, choreographer. She was brilliant as well. She's obviously passed away, unfortunately, but she was brilliant as well. But she's in a lot of illusions. So really check out the Copperfield shows. They're really good. Copperfield, I think, particularly 7, 8, 9 to 11, those shows are particularly brilliant, I think. And number 14 is really good, the one where he does the Flying Dream. I think the Flying Dream maybe wasn't the best illusion, but some of the magic on the show is fantastic. Copperfield 14. I may do a video about that one day, about all these shows, because they were so good. Also some of Doug Henning's shows from the 1980s and 70s, early 82, the Christmas show, I think he did a brilliant show. There's Cup and Ball in it, he does mirror, coin mirror stuff, he does amazing magic on that show. He's a brilliant magician, Doug Henning. I think he's died now, he died quite young actually, about 60. He was a bit of a spiritualist kind of guy, a natural kind of law guy, but a brilliant person, brilliant magician. Well, we're checking his shows out in the 70s and some of the 80s. He's brilliant as well. And get them on YouTube. Other stuff is good, and the good stuff is seeing magicians like Terry Seabrook. He's very good. There's a show on YouTube, a comedy show. He's on that. Terry Seabrook was very good. A comedy performer, magic guy. Very good indeed. He's very good to watch. Who else is good as well? Siegfried Roy's show. Get that. Check it out. Some of it's on YouTube, but if you get that on YouTube, Siegfried Roy's a fantastic show to watch. A spectacular show and absolutely amazing to watch. You know, it's obviously say the most expensive show ever staged, I think ever staged. One of them anyway, certainly. Performed at the MGM. No, one of the hotels was the Mirage Las Vegas. I went to see it a couple of times when I was about 23. The Mirage Las Vegas. It was really brilliant show. I never thought they were technically as good as Copperfield, but they were very good people to watch. Other magicians to watch as well, very good. Lance Burton, his shows. He's quite a few bits of him on YouTube. Watch Lance Burton, particularly if you want to learn doves and that kind of stuff, that kind of magic, and stage magic. It's very good again, Lance Burton. Also, really recommend, as I said, really recommend watching David Blaine. Some of the early David Blaine shows in the 1990s, 98, 99, 2000, those shows, he did some brilliant close-up magic, really worth watching it. Just absolute raw, straight close-up magic. He's so good, David Blaine. It's amazing. He's fantastic, David Blaine. Love seeing it. Obviously, check out the Dynamo shows. He's been around 10 years, Dynamo. He's very good English magician. Really support the bloke. Fantastic. He's really good to watch as well. So do check his shows. There's always some good stuff in Dynamo's shows as well. There's also Penn and Teller's good as well. Penn and Teller does some brilliant shows over the years, about 35 years. Some of the early shows in the 80s and early 90s are really brilliant actually. They do some what they call joke cod magic, and there's some real magic as well, but they're really great to watch as well, some of those shows. So there's some really good stuff to see there. I'm rattling through quite a few things to see, but certainly it's a lot on YouTube to go back and look at, you know. Some of the, actually there's a show Paul Daniels did, Secrets, 1995. Again, that was on the BBC. It was on for one series. It's about 10 episodes of Secrets. It's on YouTube again at the moment, thank God. Still there. There's many great magicians on there. Fantastic load of magicians. Not only Paul Daniels, but loads of really good magicians on there as well. Mike Vincent there. Many good magicians are on there doing bits of close-up magic. It's fantastic to watch it. Really good. Really recommend it, I have to say. A good kind of performance to see, definitely. So thoroughly enjoy that as well. So there's quite a selection of shows you can go Google and find on YouTube, kind of see. Chris Angel's got some good stuff. Chris Angel's goes well on YouTube. Chris Angel's really worth watching. American Magician Las Vegas, got some really good stuff. I like Chris Angel a lot. He's kind of a bit more rock and roll cool, wasn't he, than some of the early magicians. He's a more rock and roll, very cool bloke. Very good to watch his stuff as well. So go and check out those videos. Another bloke to Google as well. I'm going through some other people to Google. Johnny Hart's worth trying to Google him for watching his stuff. Eugene Berger's brilliant to watch. You can get with Eugene Berger, and again, there's lots of stuff for him on YouTube. Eugene Berger, fantastic close-up magician. A bit, yeah, I think the same with magic. Another magician I watched the other way, David Berger, that's a very good magician, 1980s. There's some stuff on YouTube with David Berger, that's very good indeed. He's about 90 years old now, very old indeed, but he's a very, very great guy. Very good magician indeed, and some brilliant material. If you want good material's got as well, for good material to look at as well. I'd say it's always good to sort of get material from other magicians as well, maybe dissolve a bit into your own material. Remember, always use your own style as well, get your own style up. So whenever the stuff you're seeing, kind of put it into your own material, for your personality as well yourself. So always put your own personality into it yourself, definitely. So I've definitely said about magic as well, definitely. And I would say another tip as well, another thing I think about also about performance is that magic is an art form, it's performance as well. It's an art form as well, it's a performance thing. It is something that requires performance, okay? And performance is important, whether you're on stage or doing close-up magic. Close-up magic is like a little theatre. And magic, as I say, generally, when you're on stage, again, you need to learn performance. So definitely, when I perform on stage a lot, I was really a stage performer as well as a magician. But you're a magician who's a performer. Don't forget that. You're not just a magician. You're a magician who's a performer. Okay, it's important to perform. Okay, you need to learn a bit of voice projection. You need to learn about handling a microphone. You need to learn about stage kind of technique. There's a book called by Neville Helms. I think it's called Magic and Showmanship. Classic book from the 1920s or 30s. It's actually really good stuff, full of ideas how to perform on stage, how to act, that kind of stuff. Stage kind of craft, stage performance. So really worth checking that book out. It's called Magic and Showmanship. But really, I think to be good at any kind of magic, or anything like good at violin, piano, acting, theatre, whatever, you do need to really watch some people performing, okay, to get ideas. So go on YouTube, have a look at some great performers. And I always say this to people seriously when performing on stage, okay? Do watch good performers. So watch Michael Jackson videos from 20, 30 years ago and see how good he was on stage. Watch Elvis Presley 1969 comeback special, very good to watch that, and watch how Elvis Presley, how good he was. David Bowie 1983 Serious Moonlight Tour, watch how good David Bowie was with an audience. Watch David Bowie at Live Aid, okay? Maybe watch Queen at Live Aid, watch how they perform, what kind of stuff they did, get ideas and techniques for performance, okay? Madonna, Michael Jackson, people like Prince, really good on stage, how they perform. It's really good to see how people actually perform on stage. It's a really good idea to get ideas and tips and that kind of stuff. People like Robbie Williams, very good on stage. So getting ideas of people, how they actually perform is really important. Another person to watch perform, by the way, is Frank Sinatra. Watch how he handled an audience, watch how he walked to stage, how he held himself up, how he walked on, walked off, how he handled the audience, talked to people, how he sung. Frank Sinatra, great performer. So watching people perform is really, really brilliant way of just learning the craft of stagecraft, how to perform on stage, kind of stuff. So magic is a communication, as it were, anyway. So performing with magic and on stage in kind of with stagecraft is a really vital way of really making yourself much better than just doing tricks, because tricks is just tricks, isn't it? Tricks kind of the easy part. It's not the trick, it's how you perform, how you look, how you act, that kind of stuff. It's really important. So hopefully, get it right when you're on stage, definitely people make the audience like you as well. And also I think with performance as well, and with learning magic as well, always try and give your best side of your personality over. You might be tired, knackered, whatever, during the day, working too hard, but always performing, it's always about giving off the best side of your character. You can do that, the best side of your personality. All of us are multidimensional creatures, all multifaceted human beings, all of us are. We've got many personalities, many different things. And it's important perhaps to show the best side of yourself to people when in front of a crowd of people, definitely. Whether it's small or big crowd, the best side of your personality when you perform magic. Whether you're doing silent magic or talking magic, pattern magic, always give the best side of your character if you can to people. It's a very important thing to do, definitely. That's some good stuff to do, definitely, with magic as well. So, as I said, go and check out YouTube for some great things. Now they've got YouTube, got amazing, millions of videos to watch, and go through videos, find out, ideas of performance, ideas of tricks, and that kind of stuff. Definitely, you want to do magic, and check out some of those great, amazing magic shows. Definitely, really worth doing that. Definitely, I would definitely recommend doing that. So I hope that's kind of helpful to you all, and it's a bit of an idea about magic and learning magic and watching performance. Okay. So the first thing with magic, definitely learning tricks is one thing, perfecting magic tricks. Second thing is performance, learning how to perform better, perform tricks better, how to perform on stage. and then actually doing shows. And as I say, the only real way I've done hundreds and hundreds of gigs, you know, kids' parties. I've done a bit crucial. I've done like, you know, amphitheatres in Greece and Turkey. I performed on stage in front of thousands of people back in the 80s, 90s. Definitely, I definitely would say, without a doubt, definitely get experience. You cannot beat being on stage. Just cannot beat being on stage in front of people and performing. That's the best way to learn. Be on stage. That's it. And you do need balls. You need a pair of balls to do it as well. You need to have balls and do it. You can't be a sort of petal about it. You've got to get on stage and do it. You know what I mean? You can't be too weak about it. You've got to get on stage and do it. Whatever people think of you, whether they like you, don't like you, whatever it is, okay, whatever paranoia you got, you're going to put that aside and get on stage and do it. I hope you found that panel interesting. I found it interesting anyway, interesting stuff for you. And I really love talking about magic as well, so I'll talk some more about magic for you later as well, okay? So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please do like and subscribe, and please check out the videos here. Click on the videos right here for some more magic, okay? So see you soon, okay? Look after yourselves.